game turned out well. You can see he surrendered. I'll go ahead and watch what happens in this last turn for old time's sake, but you can see it didn't turn out well. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna barely hold this. My transfer goes in, yay. Looks like he was working on South Africa coming up over here. That's alright. That's why I took Malaysia. And a tad. I didn't take Egypt, that's annoying, but it didn't matter anyway. Boom! Yeah, that hurt. That hurt him pretty bad. He's guaranteed to lose it this turn. Really, no matter what he does, so he makes the, well, I guess, the wise choice. It's just more like he understands it's over, so ends it. GG nkvd. I'm curious what your name stands for. Let's check the history. Let's see what we went for here. To refresh my memory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And he went for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So his picks were in Sweden, Iran, Myanmar, and Novo. These were his first 4. Interesting. Quite honestly, I'm not really sure why he chose to go Sweden #1 and then these 2 and 3. I guess, thinking about it, that isn't a bad way to order things, because, well, no, it is. It still is, because there's a 50-50 chance if someone was going for the 1-turn bonus that they'd get the 1-turn bonus. There's a 50-50 chance with that last pick, with the second pick. Their first pick they'd be guaranteed to get over here, if they made these 1 and 2. And then their next pick, it would be a 50-50 chance between you and him getting that other one. So I'm not sure I like that over there to prevent the 1-turn bonus, but I guess it also matters that he picked Iran and not Xinjiang. So that's less likely to matter. Alright, and then 4th was Novo. That's a good pick in general. Sudan, I see why he chose that. I like it. I like that as an alternate pick. And then Tura. This is something I didn't think about before the game, really, but or I don't think I did. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But Central Russia seems like a pretty nice bonus here. I like it. And I didn't really consider it most of the game, but should have considered going for that. Anyway, so my 1 in Myanmar was definite. My 2 in Shanghai was as well. And since he didn't have an overlap with me in either of my second and third spots, I was guaranteed to get them. So it turned out he knew where this spot was, and that's it. And I could make an educated guess that he was in Antarctica and Scandinavia. And I think that's what I did guess at the start, and that's the way things turned out. So that was nice. Alright, so sure enough, we got the locations that we were guaranteed to get based on our picks. He deployed forward to Sweden, expanded over there as he should. I expanded over here, trying to get this in 2 turns, and he just sat in Iran for 1 turn. I'm not so sure that's the wisest course of action. I think if I was him, I would try to get Pakistan, and then I'd just sit there, because he knows that well, that I'm starting here, and if I happen, there's a possibility. It's not really guaranteed, but there's a possibility I could know he was in Iran. So for him to not take Pakistan is pretty risky if I was going for this whole bonus. Because I could try to put more to hit Pakistan. Or I could just do what I did, which was go for a different bonus. And then I liked this. I liked this a lot. Doing this allowed me to expand to take this in 2 turns, while at the same time being able to use these guys and hit Sipple. I was very happy with that. Yes. And of course I hit Sipple. My 2 took Hong Kong. Or his 3s. Oh, we failed to get Scandinavia at that point. Yeah, I think I might have guessed that earlier because he deployed 5 or something. Armies captured that. Yep, I remember now. Basically, he was still guaranteed a card piece this next turn because he could attack Norway, so he was just free to deploy everything in South Pole, which he did. So I took South America because all I was concentrated on doing was just sitting. I'd done my damage by taking it. In fact, I guess I could have tried to blockade earlier than I did. The point is, he had expended a lot of armies down here, and he wasn't going to be able to get the whole bonus. That put me way ahead. So that's what I was that's what I was focused on doing, was keeping him behind. And 5 armies attack. I could have attacked out at that point, but didn't know at the time that he would do that, and it really wasn't a very smart move when you think about it. It means he couldn't pressure me as much next time. Well, smart move when you consider that I was going to stay still. It was not a smart move when you consider that, but he couldn't have necessarily known that. So he put... Alright, so he put 3 more in Pakistan and 5 more in South Pole, but I know better by this point. I know that he's probably got his bonus. 3 to Argentina. This gives me enough to take South America, hopefully. 3 take that in Venezuela. His 4 moves to India. My 2 moves down to Hong Kong. My 3 take Colombia. Yay! 64% chance! It worked! Alright. And this puts me in an interesting spot. I remember what happened here. I remember at the time I thought that he was in Xinjiang. Really, I think I had to assume that, because it was the most dangerous position he could start in, instead of Iran. So... So instead of trying to defend along here, I figured he could try to go for Tibet. And so that's where I focused on defending. And it turned out he was starting in Iran, so he wasn't even considering this as much. I was expecting him to go from Xinjiang to Tibet. But 5... He did not focus on going to Tibet. Instead, he focused on going to Myanmar, which worked very well for him. 12 to Hong Kong, 4 to Sipple, and I just sit there. Got my 14 armies get into Tibet. 6 armies move to Novo. 15 go to Myanmar. And he takes it, of course. And I end up blockading Sipple. Oh! This I did not know about. That changed the game a lot. Wow. Alright. Alright. I don't remember this. Oh man, I never saw this. I couldn't see it. He blockaded in Novo. That's funny. That is really funny. We both blockaded on the same turn. I did not know that. Oh, this is great. Oh man. That's why he never expanded into South Africa. I just saw these guys go here, and then I ended up blockading. I did not know that he... Oh man, that is funny. Oh man. So he didn't... He couldn't go over here because of the blockade. Oh man. Well, I guess in the end, what this means is that me attacking or me defending wouldn't have meant anything, pretty much. I guess it could have meant something if I would have been able to eliminate him from Scott in South Pole. So I guess it was a mistake in a sense, but it wasn't a big deal because he couldn't expand over here. He knew there was a wasteland in Queensland, and it would take him forever to get over to touch me, so he was focused over here. And he had no reason to go in to Australia and try to come up from under me. It would just take really long and be a waste of his time at this point anyway. So he couldn't go into South Africa. So me taking Congo, that was a waste. But oh well, I did not know that he blockaded in Novo until the very end. I was sitting in Congo waiting for him to take the whole bonus so that I could break it. But he never even expanded there. That is so funny. Alright, alright. 13 to Hong Kong. So I can defend Hong Kong from here. Was 3 to Svalbard and 5 to Myanmar. And he does not attack me directly. Instead, I focus on taking Shanxi and hit him with a good number, I guess, but that was a complete waste. This put me in a pretty bad spot for the next turn, comparatively. I could have made a lot better moves than that. That was a waste of an order delay, because I knew he wasn't going to attack. Well, I was reasonably certain of it. In my head, he knew I had a lot of reinforcements. He knew I had South America and East China, so he wasn't going to hit me. He was going to delay, make me think that he was going to just sit there and then basically get me used to him sitting there, and then he was going to try to make an attack to Tibet and Shanxi or something like that. He had to, really the biggest reason he was down there was to make me play reinforcements down there and delay my expansion. And that's a good idea on his part, but he was way too far behind for that to really be effective. So he plays an order priority. 2 to Denmark Haven. 10 to Tibet. 6 to Myanmar. And his order priority fails because I have... What an amazing thing deployment is. I don't need to focus on transferring. It was sort of obvious after he sat there that he was going to... And I left Tibet empty, that he was going to go for Tibet. Although I'm not sure why he... It seems so obvious to me. I'm not so sure why he didn't think that I was going to defend it. But whatever. I don't know. Maybe he thought I'd focus more on defending Hong Kong than I did. But I knew he didn't have very many reinforcements, so I wasn't all that worried about him being able to take Hong Kong with what he had. Plus, it just didn't seem likely since I had stacked guys there before. I didn't think he'd assume that I would not place anything in Hong Kong, just because I was placing so much there before. You know, that whole psychology thing. If you've seen me do it there before, you think I'm going to do it again. So, he did apparently think I was going to do it again, so he attacked Tibet, and it didn't work out. And 2 armies took India, 0 armies transfer, 8 armies transferred. And what do you know? It looks so beautiful. It's empty in Hong Kong. It's beautiful, but you can't do any harm to it because I have so many reinforcements, and you're taking forever to expand because you've got to take Greenland, which has got 6 territories and a 4 in it. Alright. 3 to Nord. Yep, he's just expanding slowly over there, deploying everything else to try to keep pressure on me over here. 1 in India. 10 armies. Oof. Ooh. 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 I'm not sure why he did that. He knew from previous experience that I had a lot of reinforcements, and it was obvious, since I only had one there, that I was going to stick the guys there, but he attacked anyway. And 3 armies to its. 2 taking Pakistan for me. We both get card pieces again. We both play reinforcement cards. I deploy a bunch. He does not deploy very much. Instead, he focuses on keeping alive down here by holding Iran, because apparently he's afraid I might wipe him out with these stacks. Wise fear, but I didn't do it. And that was a good idea on his part. I think, anyway. That was a really good idea to focus on the turn where you'd get the card to try and take the 4. I like that. But I ended up holding Pakistan. It's weird. Oh, because I transferred the 1 there. Okay, got it. That's why I held it. And then 2 armies. Chapter Chad. At this point, I thought he was pretty close to South Africa. I knew he was expanding in either South Africa or Greenland, and I thought it made more sense to expand in Greenland, but, well, he also, from what I could see, I didn't know he blockaded at Novo. I figured he might have just had all his stuff, what was it? He might have just had all his stuff still free, you know, not blockaded, and he could have taken South Africa very easily and then gone to Namibia or something like that, just to put himself in a good position over there. And then, since he had already invested all those guys in it, he might as well take the whole thing. But he didn't do that. And it turned out to be good for him that he didn't do that, because I would have broken him immediately, and it would have been a complete waste of reinforcements to take Angola, Botswana, and Madagascar. Alright, turn 10. 4 in Pakistan, 3 in Nord, 5 in Myanmar, and 7 in Chad. Yep, just this is the turn. Was this the turn? No, this wasn't the turn where I decided to take the whole West China bonus. That was next turn, or the turn after that, I don't remember. 5 to India. My 4 army, or his 4, I don't know why he did this. I guess he needed to take a card piece, maybe? But he's doing this over here. Was he doing this to try to throw me off or something? I mean, it did make me think that he was putting guys over here. So I guess it succeeded in that case, but... Maybe he was contemplating going over here. I don't know. Anyway. 4 armies did not take India. 0 transferred and 0 transferred because I had it on attack onlys. Yay. And... let's see, this is the turn. Yep, this is the turn where I decided to take the whole bonus. And since he had failed to get Quinnock that last time, he was still in a very good spot because, what was it? Because of those guys left over in Nook, he was able to transfer them to the ITS and take the whole bonus in 1 turn, you know, 1 turn later, using those extra guys. Very smart on his part. I like it. To use the guys left over from Nook to be able to take Iceland. Yay. Alright. So he took Iceland, and he took Quinnock. And because I played an order delay... Hey, look, he's got all of Southeast Asia. What am I going to do about that? Well, this, then this, then that. And now it's a different game. He may have got Greenland, but simultaneously, I got West China. And he's pushed away from my bonus in East China because he had to lay guys over here. Basically, it was my superior numbers finally really coming into play. I finally used them to push out, and that was because I was taking West China. I had more freedom because I'd be getting more reinforcements the next turn. So, that happened. And now we can see the reinforcement counts 19 and 13. And he takes UK, Pakistan. Boom! My transfer got in. That's lucky. 50-50 chance, and it worked my way. I won the coin flip. And then I didn't attack. I think I should have attacked. Maybe. But I should have attacked in hindsight, but at the time I thought he might have... I thought he would just sit in Pakistan, because I thought he was smart enough to, know that he was outnumbered. And the only way he'd be able to keep a presence in India was to not attack. But he did attack, and that ultimately lost him his presence in Southeast Asia, and his ability to threaten Xinjiang with any effectiveness. So, take Niger, or Niger, whatever that's called, that place over there. 13. We both get reinforcement cards and play them. I deploy my stuff to Niger. He deploys to UK. 16 to Pakistan. 15 to India. And 6 to Xinjiang. And this turn is the turn he decides to sit. But unfortunately for him, this is also the turn where attacking with ultimately 42 guys, I'm guaranteed to take you. So that sucks to be you, but that's the way it is. Right. My 3 take Algeria, while he takes France. 22 armies, and then the big breaker 20. Right over here in Pakistan, and that kills his presence in Southeast Asia. As if there was any doubt in the game, that takes it away. And that really was the end of the game. Although you could say it was over from the start, but it wasn't really. He did force me to lay some guys over here, but because of my stopping him taking all Antarctica, that got me way ahead really early. And even though he could threaten my bonus over here, he couldn't expand fast enough and threaten me at the same time. Basically, he had to slowly expand while he threatened me, and I could hold off, and I ended up expanding to West China without him being able to stop me, so... Oh well. Poor guy. I guess you could say it was a result of the picks, although... I think he should have tried to go for Sipple instead of Scott. I don't know why he went for Scott that other turn. Maybe he thought I was in South America, but he didn't think that I was, rather he thought I could be in South America. So it might be wiser to not touch me over here, because at that turn, because he couldn't take the whole bonus anyway, and therefore if he didn't touch me, then I might not hit him over there. But it's pretty likely someone's going to start in Novo, so I assumed he was going to start in Novo and went down there from the start. So didn't work out that way for him. It made it look like Scott was a dumb move. And technically, considering what I did, it was a dumb move, but again, he couldn't have known that I would go for Sipple. He couldn't have known that I was going to assume from the start that he was going to take he was starting with Novo. So anyway, we could say the last few moves here. Turn 15. Putting the pressure on him here. Just making everything nice and clear that the game's over. And sure enough, he surrenders at this point. And this is the resulting board. GG nkvd. That was actually a pretty good game. You got behind from the start, but you actually managed to make it somewhat interesting with your work in Southeast Asia. You never got Tibet, and that's really what helped me. I focused on Tibet, and I think Tibet is, especially when you're defending East China from Southeast Asia, Tibet is the big focal point for me. I mean, Hong Kong is as well, but you play everything off Tibet. And since I was able to hold Tibet from the start, that's really where, that's why I held on so long and was able to defend so well. And of course, I was ahead in reinforcement count that whole time. So, even though he could threaten me over here, he was behind in reinforcement count. I could just lay my guys and not... I didn't have to worry as much as he did, because he had to expand over here to catch up. And it wasn't going to happen because I was getting more guys and I could expand in West China. Yep. GG. That was fun. Let's move on to the next game.